at a few spots from Reba, the Clifford Ball version, and see what Trey was doing musically and see how we can apply it to our own playing. So let's just get right into it and listen to the first section. All right, so this is something that he did starting right out the gate. I think he might have maybe had on the neck pickup too. It doesn't really matter too much. Playing around right here and then right like this. But first of all, what's going on? This whole jam is just two chords. It's E flat to F, and there's different ways you could look at it. I kind of look at it as mostly leaning towards like an E flat Lydian sound, which is not as common of a sound. Or you could think of it as a F mixolydian, much more common with Phish, and just bands in general. Or you could think of it as the overall kind of parent scale, the parent key I always call it, B flat. But I don't prefer to think like that because it's like, okay, we're focused on these two chords, not B flat. But if modes are new to you, but you know your major scale, then obviously it's going to be easier to think of it that way. So those are the three ways you could approach looking at it. But again, I lean towards think of it as E flat Lydian because it just kind of focuses on that chord, kind of the most. So thinking about that, we've got these notes right around here, and he's playing up here, which is playing around an E flat chord like this. Here's your sixth, your third, and your fifth. So he's got two chord tones there. And he really plays around with the timing with that too, And I think he's played it a couple times. But you actually, type of thing he might play a lot, like longer, and toy around with the timing. You can play this over the F, as well as you'll see as we move along here. This stuff, you can kind of match up, and sometimes he would do that and be matching up with the chords as he's going. But it's very gray. We can do a lot to kind of just play the same thing over both chords, and it gives us a more colorful sound by doing so. And you're thinking about these longer lines and not just the chords as they happen, But with that chord, it's playing around the E flat there, and then going like this. And I can tell he's doing it on the same string because he was doing pull-offs, and he does this about 4 times. And this is where he's playing over the F, and there's A. There is the major third of F, so that he's stressing that as it's happening. And then this one is more like kind of making it like a sus2 sound. But then when it goes to the E flat again, he's doing that, and that would be now the major third of E flat. So that kind of works, but it's stressing this note, which is kind of out, and that gives it that really Lydian sound. So this is the note, the kind of characteristic note of this mode, and the whole sound here is this A, which is this sharp 4. You're going right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of it being a regular 4, it's that sharp 4, that A, and which is playing different ways, that becomes the major third of F. And that's what makes it really, really stand out. So that's kind of what's going on, with that section right there. Just a little tiny thing. But let's listen to the second one, and I'll play with the track, and then we'll see what's going on with it. So this is about halfway through the jam. He might be putting the pickup in the middle here, throwing on some distortion, and he's doing this little chord thing right here, like this. And then basically just toying around with that and really kind of letting it really, just really hang there. And right, and that's playing around this E flat like this, with this note up top. So you can picture like this, right? And that's kind of playing around what you would call the G shape. So if you think about the E flat like this, you thought of the G like this, right? Then you moved it up like that. That would be E flat. And then you're just playing this part right here. And then playing around the scales with it. And if you want something that makes this stuff easier, I have a little cage cheat sheet I put together. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check it out, where it shows all the cage shapes, and then for major and minor chords, and then the scales that go right along with them. So it's this kind of stuff that'll just kind of make it all fit together for you, So check that out if you're interested. So you got this right here. And then when it goes to the F, he's still playing the same thing, holding it, but just moves it down one note. Kind of sort of stresses this, so that's stressing that A, but it still has this E here, C right here. So it's like a sus chord, except it has the A as well, and then goes down to the F here. But by holding this note here, it gives it like a sus too. So it's a very suspended sound, whether it's the fourth, the second thrown in there, but he does throw in that A, that major third, so it makes it sound like it changes to the F. So it's really kind of, almost the same thing, just moving it there, and that kind of glues the two chords together, so it's really just hanging over both chords. So that's something to experiment around with, and you could do this, in different places. Say you're playing over something where it was like a C to D. Well, you just find right here, here's your C, and this is where the cage shapes come in handy. There's your shape right there, and then it goes to D, right? And it's the same thing. So let's listen to the third one and see what's going on with that. All right, so this is something that's often, you'd be doing at the end of Reba, that little theme there, and going way up here. I only have 20 frets. He has 24 frets, so luckily this is right at the max for me. I'm playing right here, which is a C, and bending it up to a D. So going, and then down there, right? And that's kind of the main thing, that's the theme that's going on, and then playing around. So I was playing around a little bit there, and he keeps playing that and just kind of like ripping it between that. But that's kind of the melody, these guide tones that are going on there. And if I play it down here, you can kind of see, if you like this, where are we? Like here's our E flat, and here's our F, and we go like this. Right, so what's going on with that? Here's our E flat. This is actually a D, the major seventh. So it gives it a little jazzy sound, gives it some tension. Then it goes to the fifth of F, and then it goes to the fifth of E flat. Then here's our F, a major third of F, and then resolves it down to the F, the root. So again, we've got major seventh, fifth, major third, root, right? So you kind of get that in your, ear, and just practice that up here. And then get it on your fingers, and if you're not used to playing up super high, this is a good one to just force yourself to get up there and really crank up the distortion. Maybe throw it onto the bridge pickup, get that real high cranking sound, and toy around with that. And that's typically right before they end it, and that's it. So have fun with that. And if you want to check out more stuff about Trey's playing, check out this video here, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.